OntarioLoval.com here at the Flamboro Speedway, standing here with Linda Dean, driver in the Thundercar division. And how's your 2012 season been going so far?
Well, Greg, it hasn't gotten a good start. We started off the first week by meeting a couple of cars and then the wall. That cost us the back end, a couple door panels, and the motor got pushed over a little bit, so we had some issues. But I finished the race. That was the important thing. And then week 2, we started to notice we had a bit of carburetor problems. Working on that, doing the best we could. We were up to carburetor number 3. Didn't work out so well. And then we had a week off. That was nice, so we got a little bit more done on the car, fixing the back end. It was everything back of the axle, so it wasn't too bad. Fuel cell got bent, things like that. And then last week we thought we had it made. We get out there and 3 carburetors back and forth, and we just can't get it together. So we got another carburetor this week. We've got some valve springs touched up. Hopefully that'll help. It's a 4-year-old crate motor, so we'll see how it does tonight.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work through the weeks just to get these cars to the track so you can race for a couple of hours. Just talk about the manpower that it takes, the hours that go into it to try and get a car ready just to come out and have some fun on a Saturday night.
Well, as you know, Greg, and some of our fans know as well, we run 5 different teams out of our garage. And we have the 2 mini stocks, we have 2 Thunder cars, and we have the late model now. And yeah, it's busy. We get home from work any time between 6:30, depending. We sit and have dinner. I have a rule that we don't get interrupted between about 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, so Papa can have an hour of shutdown time. We're out in the garage by 8 o'clock for most nights, and we're there till probably about 12 or 1. And then on the weekends all day. Saturday night we're there till about 4 o'clock in the morning, usually putting things back together as best we can. And then Sunday all day in the shop again. Long weekend we spent pretty much on the cars the whole weekend. We did get a visit up to Sunset, which was nice. They put on a great show there. Last night we got to go to Oshweek, and that was a wonderful show. First night out. Glenn sure knows how to put it together. So it's nice. Dirt's dirt, asphalt's asphalt. John does a great job here for us, and we try to put on a good show for our fans.
Now, talk about your season. Do you plan on traveling with the car to any other tracks, or are you strictly running the car here at Flamboro?
Well, normally we've just stayed at Flamboro. Of course, finances are an issue. Our sponsors are good to us, but they expect us to stay in the community, which is fair. However, we did get a couple of offers from other tracks to try to excite us enough to bring the car up there. But I think what I'd like to do is really pay homage to Flamboro, because this is our community, this is our hometown, and John and Frank work very, very hard here to try to do the best they can. And until I get a win, I think I'm going to stay at Flamboro. Love it, and this is why we're here.
Now, you're a racer, and we see you out on the track each and every week, but we also see you in the grandstands, and you alluded to that. You've been to Oshweek, and you get out to tracks. What got you started in racing? What made you make that jump from being just a fan to being behind the wheel?
Well, I guess I'm 3rd-generation racer. Our team started out when I was actually not even born yet, and that was the old 5x5 in the I think they called them, it wasn't the vintage modified, I can't think of the name of the actual division it was. And then I met Ken 12 years ago, and they raced the Fireball 5. And so we went, well, there's an awful lot of 5s in there, so this is how we amalgamated the 2 teams. And I remember sitting on Coke cases out on the front row at Flamboro Speedway when I was a kid. And then I raced motorcycles, loved that, and then had the kids and went, well, that probably doesn't work too well anymore. And then I went to drag racing, loved that, it was great. And again, Cayuga was a great place to go. And then took some time off and got into my career, learned how to be a driver with an emergency vehicle. And then just recently actually got recognized by my employer to become a driving instructor to try to make out there a little bit safer. So I try to apply some of that to here, but it doesn't work. It's very different. I think the biggest thing was just saying my boy was at an age where he wanted to do something, and I said, let's build a car. And we started with the little mini stock 12 years ago, and now he's gone on to be a champion in the same type of car. And I've moved up 3 divisions, and I'm out there every week. Perfect attendance for 12 years, so at least I can boast about that. And I give it my all. I really do. It's racing. It's what it is, and whatever happens, happens, and you just move on to the next week.
Now, having fought all these carburetor troubles, Be honest with me. The car gets hooked up and going out there. You're going to be driving a little bit more aggressive than you have because you've been pent up fighting these carburetor issues, or is it a constant state of trying to be calm and cool out on a tight track like this?
For me, the biggest thing is driving with my hands, my feet, and my head, and that is true. And yeah, there are times, I'm human, so there are times where you just get so frustrated that you wish that you could do something, or you wish that you could make that move and you knew you couldn't. But I don't take it out on the other drivers. I take it out on myself, saying, you know what, had I have planned a little bit better, had I have maybe better concentrated on what the issue was, I might be able to fix it. Because if you go out there and lose your head, you can't tell anybody what your car was doing because you're not driving properly. I think that might be half my problem, though, because I do go out there and I expect certain things to happen and they don't. It's not that there's no rules, because there certainly is rules, and they're certainly enforced as best they can be, because the officiating here, these guys do the best they could, and I'll tell you, you couldn't pay me to do it. But at the same time, stuff happens and they don't see it, and so you get yourself frustrated. But if you buy into that, or you become part of that, it's not racing, it's bullying. And you know what, it's just not racing. I race because it's fun. I'm living the dream.
Now, you have one of the sharpest cars at the track. You can spot it a mile away. Who are some of the sponsors on this car that you'd like to thank? Well,
first and foremost, I'd like to thank Cambridge MP Properties, Bob McClurkin and Simon Pallady, and they've been wonderful with us. They run it at Cambridge, and they have large buildings and things like that they lease out. And then, of course, Waterdown Napa. We couldn't do this without them. They supply all the paint and everything. Redline Racing's been great to us, and it's nice because they sell NASCAR stuff, so you can go into Waterdown anytime, and if Paul's not there, there's a phone number. You can give him a call and buy whatever you want. And as you can see, we're doing the best we can. We're down a little bit on sponsors this year, but that's okay because we understand. We spread it out. We have Classic Rad, who Denny does all our rads for us, and of course they're the Quaker State dragsters now. I believe they're still Quaker State. And the Fireball, original Mom and Dad Fireball 5 from the beginning. And for sponsors, that's it. I got to thank Ken Stenhouse Jr. because he owns the car, and he's also the one that bought me the cutter plotter. So that being said about how good my car is, I actually get to do all the designing on it and put it together. And we're lucky enough, we've sponsored a few of the cars at Oshweekend now with their numbers. So our goal is to make the cars look pretty for the fans, because really it's all about the fans.
There you go. Very well put by Linda Dean here at the Flamboro Speedway. I'm Greg Kellnan for OntarioLoval.com.